Jets, I hear them say it now.
Jet and white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win tonight. White, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win.
What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back for another video. We have the AFC predictions. The time is now. Last Thursday, we had the NFC predictions drop. A lot of people hated my Green Bay Packers take. I really expected that, but hey, let's see who is right. I really think Green Bay is going to surprise. But before we get into any of that, Joe Scurto here, Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you are new, welcome. And if you are not new, much appreciate all the support. Like the video if you actually liked it. Follow me on X and Instagram. On both of those platforms, I am at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. So yes, AFC predictions. We're going to go east, west, south. East, north, west, south. So we'll start with the east because, you know, at the end of the day, we are a New York Jets channel, and you know, I don't want all the Jets fans have to wait 30 to 40 minutes to see what my prediction is. And of course, that's one of the more anticipated divisions, deservingly so. You have Josh Allen, now Aaron Rodgers. The Dolphins were really, really good when Tua was healthy. Patriots are Patriots, and they'll always be competitive as long as Bill Belichick is the head coach, no matter who is the quarterback. And they proved that last year. They were basically one game away. So obviously a much anticipated division. But yes, I'm going to do a similar deal as I did last time with the NFC game by game. I didn't end up doing the graphics with the W's and the L's because it just came out way too blurry. So I'm trying to just do a clear schedule. Hopefully you can see it more. And of course, I have my predictions here on my phone, obviously. But yeah, NFC predictions dropped last week. So if you have not seen that, please go over to my Instagram. The standings are there, and also check out the video on my YouTube channel. Yes, I do have the Green Bay Packers winning the East, not the East, I'm sorry, the North. And that was one of my non-popular picks. People were asking me, there was actually a guy that asked if I was a Green Bay fan. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm definitely a Green Bay fan. Now, I mean, I honestly hate how a lot of the Packers fans handled the Rodgers situation. And I would like for nothing more for Rodgers to really shove it in their face, especially that Milwaukee bar that is, you know, paying everyone's tab every time they lose. It's petty shit, man. You know, I hope Green Bay isn't good because of that, and I hope the Jets are good, but I really think it's going to work over there. For some odd reason, there's always a team that you don't really expect to do well to just come off out of nowhere and onto the scene and really surprise everyone. And I think it definitely could and will be Green Bay. But let's get into that. Enough of, you know, defending my picks. I don't really care. I do this for fun. Of course, people are going to, you know, talk shit. And that's the beauty of this, right? Because nobody knows anything. I don't know more than the other person doesn't know, and the other person doesn't know more than I know. So we don't know shit, and this is the beauty of predicting everything. So I'm going to go by fourth to third to second to first, and we are here with the AFC East. I'm going to put this banner down because it might interfere on the schedule. And in fourth place, yes, it is the New England Patriots. They are in fourth place here. I have them at 8-9. So I think the Patriots are going to be competitive. I just think that division is too good. They have some tough games. The AFC East just has a brutal schedule overall with the East in general, and then the NFC East and then the AFC West. Those literally are probably the three best divisions in the league. In the AFC East, the NFC East, and the AFC West. Like, those are literally probably the three best. I would probably take the AFC North over the West, but anyway, still really good divisions. You got to play the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year. So I do have them losing against the Eagles to start the season. That's September 10th. Ignore the Texans, Packers, Titans. That's the preseason. So I have them losing to the Eagles. And I have an interesting take. I have them beating Miami and the Jets. Yes, 2-1. I do have the Jets losing to Miami, to New England week 3. I just think there's going to be that one trap game that nobody expects. And, you know, I can't believe I'm doing it to myself. And I really hope I'm wrong there with the Jets losing against New England. Holy shit. But then I have them losing against Dallas to be 2-2. And then they win New Orleans and Vegas. So now they're 4-2, but it gets a little tougher here. They lose to Buffalo, they lose to Miami, they beat the Commanders, and then they beat the Colts. So come out of the bye with 4 losses. And yeah, the Giants, this is a tough schedule here. They beat the Giants, but they lose to the Chargers at home, and then they go in Pittsburgh, lose, host Kansas City, lose. I have them losing in Denver. And then I have them squeaking out a win in Buffalo. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it at that point, beating Buffalo and losing to the Jets. There's no chance in hell the Jets get swept by the Pats. I just think this division will be super competitive. I do have them 8-9. I hope they're 7-10 and the Jets sweep them. I think it's very possible, but I do think there's always that stinker, and I'll explain it more when I get to the Jets schedule. But 8-9, I mean, listen, I don't think Mac's the guy. I don't. And I think this is really the last shot here. And some say it might be the last shot for Bill Belichick. I don't know how much I believe in that. You know, of course, his successor probably Jerome Mayo. They're keeping him around for a reason. And there's a reason why he hasn't taken many other jobs. There were teams interested in interviewing him. Like, he is a very hot target in the head coaching market. He's young. He's a former player. He's been around the block, and he's been learning from Bill Belichick as both a player and a coach. So a lot of knowledge over there for him. And it could be a similar thing as D'Amico Ryans, another former defender. Right. So I'm going to see more of that. And I think Mayo could be the successor, but they just didn't do good of a job to I don't know, to surround him with weapons. Like, look at the receivers, Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, that would be a good core in 2017. And then they have Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, Gesicki. I mean, Henry, Parker, and Juju literally would be like 4 years ago, be like the best 3 trio in the league. Like, not anymore, man. I like Ramondre, and then you got Zeke too. Like, this is it's just, I don't know. Great defense. They're going to win games. They will win games that they're not supposed to because of the defense. But 8-9, I don't see them really winning more games than that unless Mac Jones surprises the world and balls out. But here's Miami next. I have them in 3rd place. I have Miami at 10-7. I think, I'm not speculating and banking on anyone getting injured, like, if Tua gets hurt, blah, blah, blah. This is a good team. Miami's a very good team. They added some pieces around the defense. They got Vic Fangio now as the DC. It's going to be a really good team. So I have them beating the Chargers week 1. Yes, I do have them lose against New England, as I mentioned, beating Denver and then losing against Buffalo. So 2-2, and then they win 5 in a row. They beat the Giants, Panthers, Eagles, Patriots, and Chiefs. And that's a ridiculous stretch I have them winning, considering I have them beating the Eagles and the Chiefs. But I think they're that explosive. So they're 7-2 of the bye week. I think they're 7-2, right? Yep, they're 7-2 in the bye week. And then they lose to the Raiders and the Jets. They beat Washington, lose to Tennessee, beat the Jets, lose to Dallas and Baltimore, and then beat the Buffalo Bills. So 10-7 for Miami. That's going to be good enough to get in the playoffs. Seriously, like that's a wild card team. I do have 3 teams from the AFC East making the playoffs. So they'll be squeaking in. I think it's actually going to be a battle now that I look at my standings. I'll have to really do the math after because I don't want to spoil any other picks. But obviously, the other 2 teams after the Dolphins going to have winning records as well. But for Miami, I just think, their offensive line, everyone says the Jets' offensive line. Miami's offensive line is concerning. I don't know how effective their running game will be. They have 2 injury-prone running backs and a rookie. Of course, they got to keep Tua upright. That's the most important thing. Their season is banking on Tua staying upright and being healthy, and I pray that he is healthy. He's a great quarterback when healthy, just because those weapons are so explosive. Say what you want, those weapons make him good, whatever. But, he gets the ball there. He's an accurate quarterback. All he has to do is just get the ball in his receiver's hands. They'll do the rest. And it doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback. He's doing his job, and he did his job last year, probably better than almost anyone. Like, he was really, really good in the games he played, like MVP type level. So if the defense can improve, Ramsey's out early on in the season. If the defense can improve from last year and Tua stays healthy, this is a really, really good team. I believe they went 9-8 last year. Do I think Tua is going to play all 17 games? I don't know. I'm not really banking on anyone getting hurt in terms of a prediction. It's just kind of shitty of anyone to do that. So I really like Miami, and I know Miami is kind of fallen off a little bit because of the Jets and of course the Bills. But no, I don't think Miami is going to, be under 500 or anything. They're going to compete all the way, and they're going to be a pest. And here it is. Third place, I have the Jets. Let me get rid of that banner because you can't really even see. Oh, I guess you can see. You don't really need to see the time, whatever. Yep, so I got the New York Jets at 11-6. In second place, I have them beating Buffalo, beating the Cowboys, and then losing to the Patriots and the Chiefs, and then beating Denver and the Eagles. So I have them coming out of the gauntlet at 4-2. Holy shit, would that be something? I think it's very possible, whether, they beat New England and lose to the Eagles or whatever. I think it's super possible. And then I have them beating the Giants, losing to the Chargers, beating the Raiders, losing to the Bills the second time around, beating Miami on the Black Friday game, and then beating up on two pretty bad teams in the Falcons and the Texans, especially at that point. I think they're going to, kind of be below 500 there. Losing to the Dolphins, so they split there as well. Beating the Commanders, dropping the Thursday night game against the Browns, and then beating the New England Patriots. So 11-6, I think the Jets have no reason why, there's no reason why they can't go 11-6, hard schedule or not. You look at the schedule, I think there's definitely some cases of, these are tough teams, but also it's like, if the Jets are who we think they are, they certainly should be able to win these games and at least compete. I'm not saying 12, 13, 14 wins. That's pretty crazy to me. And I am giving the division to the Bills because the Jets have not won the division since 2002. So I can't do it to myself just yet to give them the division. I still think Buffalo, it's their division. It's their division to lose, though. So, I have the Jets and the Bills in the same record. Let's just say that. I also have the Bills at 11-6. So a really good, tight division. But yeah, one more look at the Jets schedule. Of course, that Buffalo game is going to be huge. And I think that's going to be a huge deciding factor of how they start that gauntlet. I think if they beat Buffalo, watch out. Seriously. It's only going to give this team momentum. And this team, had tons of momentum last year after big wins. So let's just see now when they actually have a trusted quarterback. And Buffalo, yes, first place, 11-6. Of course, I have them losing to the Jets and then beating the Raiders and Commanders, losing to Miami 2-2. And then I have them winning 4 straight, beating Jacksonville, the Giants, the Patriots, and the Bucks. Pretty winnable games there. Then I have them at 6-2 all of a sudden, losing to Cincinnati, then beating the Broncos and the Jets at home, dropping the Eagles on the road. I have them beating Kansas City, I think, after last year too, and they get the game at home. The game's actually on the road, but still, I think Buffalo really has their number in terms of, the regular season they did last year. So I have Buffalo winning again. I have them also beating Dallas at home, dropping to the Chargers on the road. West Coast games are always tough. Losing to the Patriots as well. Again, I don't know. I just kind of threw that in there with the Patriots beating the Jets and the Bills. I don't really know. We'll see. And then I have them beating the Dolphins to round out the year. 11-6 for the Buffalo Bills. And I have them ultimately winning the division here with the Jets also at 11-6, the Dolphins 10-7, and the Patriots at 8-9. Buffalo, they're still a good team. They were top 3 defense last year. Both of their safeties were out. Von Miller was out, at the home stretch of the season. He's going to be back after the first 4 weeks. He's on the PUP list, but he'll be back. The safeties are healthy. Tre'Davious White, as of right now, is healthy. Of course, they lost Edmonds, their middle linebacker. Big loss, but it's a really good team. It's a well-coached team. I'm interested to see Doug McDermott as the DC. Is it going to benefit them or hurt them because he's not going to have so much involvement with the other two, with special teams and offense? But big year for Josh Allen. They got to prove themselves that they are legitimate contenders. I mean, we've been saying it for the last few years. I still think Buffalo is going to compete. I think Josh Allen is an easy top 3 quarterback. I think he's number 3. I would put Mahomes and Burrow over him, but I think he's the clear-cut number 3. Stephon Diggs, I think he obviously has a big year. I like James Cook. Kincaid and Knox can be a fun 1-2 duo in the tight end position. Definitely somebody needs to step up as wide receiver too, though. I need to see Gabe Davis step up and be a better asset than he was last year. A lot of potential in him, but a lot of hype going into the season last year for him. Consider how good he was in that divisional game against the Chiefs. He had a couple touchdowns, over 100 yards. Really quiet last season, so need to bounce back from him. But yeah, I just think, again, all 4 of these teams have tough schedules, and that's 11-6 winning the division. It's nothing crazy, but I think 11-6 for both of these teams is, with the Jets and the Bills ultimately, first and second. It's really good. I think these 2 teams are both going to be really good. I'm not the guy that are down on the Bills. I am very much high on the Bills again. I think it's their division to lose, and it's their division to win. It's their division right now, but it's definitely their division to lose. So, benefit of the doubt, I have them winning again. I think that would be the 3rd consecutive year. All right, let's go into the AFC North. We will start the Browns. I have them in last place. I have the Browns at 8-9. So the Browns are at 8-9. No, excuse me. The Browns at 9-8. So I actually have every team over 500 in this division as well. I think this is the 2nd best division in the NFL. These are, all 4 quarterbacks could be really good. I think Pickett probably the least, but you got Burrow, you got Lamar Jackson, you have Deshaun Watson, you have Pickett, who has looked pretty promising. This schedule is hilarious though, with Brownie the Elf, and it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, here's the prediction here for the Browns. I have them beating Cincinnati. I actually have them sweeping Cincinnati. Yeah. Cincinnati, that's been their kryptonite in terms of beating the Browns. Go look at Burrow's numbers. I don't know exactly what they are. You can fact check me or whatever, but they're bad against the Bengals. They got smoked last year against the Bengals with Jacoby Brissett. So I have them beating let's see, I deleted the wrong thing, didn't I? Yeah, I have them beating Cincinnati week 1. Just bear with me because I did delete the wrong Brown schedule here. All right. And then I have them week 2. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened to my Brown schedule. Yeah, I have no idea why my Browns prediction schedule is like not even complete. Yeah, what the hell, dude? All right, we're going to skip the Browns because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We can see what the Browns do. I have them 9-8. Let's see if I could remember. So I have them beating the Cincinnati, and then I'll check the other team schedules. And then I have them beating the Steelers as well. So I have them 2-0 to start the year. And then Tennessee, I have them. Dude, I don't know why my schedules are like incomplete. What a shit show. Whatever. I'm not going to go game by game. I apologize. This is kind of a shit show here. I have no idea why my schedules are incomplete. I've literally spent hours of doing this bullshit. But yeah, I have the Browns going 9-8. I think the Browns could be obviously a good team. It's a big year for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, they go grab Elijah Moore, a familiar face for Jets fans. Amari Cooper should have a big season. David Njoku should have a big season. Nick Chubb should have a big season. Like, this team has weapons. They have a solid offensive line, a good enough defense. I really like the Browns. I mean, I just think they're in a loaded conference in a loaded division. I don't see them making the playoffs, but 9-8, I think you would have to be happy with that considering the schedule too. I do have them winning some sneaky games. Like I said, I do have them beating Cincinnati both times. And I do have them. Do I have them winning any other games? Because this schedule is just incomplete, as I said. But I do have them beating the Steelers, splitting with the Steelers actually. So yeah, I got the Browns here. Let's move on because that was just that was a tough go. That was a tough go. Steelers, I got the Steelers in third place. I also have them at 9-8. So I'm not as super high on the Steelers as a lot of people I've seen, analysts pick them to win the division. I think that's crazy. I don't think Kenny Pickett is that guy. I think he's going to make them competitive. I just don't ever predict Mike Tomlin to have a losing record because every time you think he is, he doesn't. Last year, I could have guaranteed that he was gonna. They looked really bad in the start of the year. They ended up somehow going 9-8. It's bizarre, man. So I have them beating the Steelers to start off the season and then dropping 4 straight. It's Cleveland, Las Vegas, Houston, trap game, Baltimore. And then I have them losing against the Rams too. I actually have them starting off 1-5. And then they get hot. They beat Jacksonville, beat Tennessee, drop to Green Bay, but then go back and beat Cleveland, beat the Bengals, beat the Cardinals. They lose to the Pats, but beat the Colts, then drop to the Cincy and drop to Seattle, and then beat the Ravens to go 9-8 in 2023. So 9-8, I mean, look, at some of these games are tough. You play Cincinnati twice, you play Baltimore twice. You obviously play San Francisco, which I have them beating them in the opener. You play the Browns twice. New England is never an easy game, but like I said, I can't count out Mike Tomlin, man. I just can't. He's too good. He always wins. He has never had a below 500 season. So why is he going to have it now, especially when they have the expectations if TJ Watt stays healthy? That defense could be nails. I think George Pickens is going to be an absolute star. I'm skeptical of their running game and their offensive line and their offensive coordinator, but those are questions that have to get answered in order for them to be 9-8 or even better. So third place for the Steelers. And then for the Ravens, I have them finishing in second place. I have the Ravens going 11-6. This schedule is not incomplete, so good for me. I have them beating the Texans and then dropping to Cincinnati and then going on a roll here. I have them beating Indy, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Detroit, and then the Cardinals, and then Seattle. So I actually have them starting 8-1, but then they kind of get a little reality check here. They lose to the Browns and the Bengals and the Chargers. They have the bye week. They're 8-4. They beat the Rams to go 9-4, lose to the Jaguars, beat San Francisco and Miami, big wins, and then lose to Pittsburgh because I think, they're already finished in terms of, maybe Pittsburgh sneaks out a game. They're both competitive at the end. They have no excuse to be bad. This team has no excuse to not win 11 games. They have Lamar Jackson, their franchise guy. He was the talk of the town besides Rodgers of where he's going to go. Is he going to get paid? What are the Ravens doing? Blah, blah, blah. He wanted to get traded, and then he got a bag. And then, they go get him weapons. They get him OBJ. They get him Zay Flowers. You have 2 good running backs if they stay healthy, and Josh Dobbins and what's his name? And Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins. I don't know why I said Josh Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. You have a really good tight end in Mark Andrews. That defense has improved. You have a guy like Queen. You have a guy like Roquan Smith. I mean, shit, they have no excuse not to be an elite team unless Lamar Jackson gets hurt. But again, I'm not basing that shit off of, he might get hurt. If Lamar Jackson is a legitimate quarterback, he's a top probably 7 quarterback in the NFL. I really like this team. And watch out. I would not want to play them in the playoffs. By the way, they almost beat Cincinnati with Tyler Huntley. If they didn't have that freak play on the 1-yard line that they returned all the way back for a touchdown, the Ravens were going to beat the Bengals. with freaking Tyler Huntley or Snoop Huntley now. Insane. But I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They got the best quarterback in the division, the second best overall in the league. This is a really good team, the Bengals. I got them going 12-5. I'm not really, their defense or offensive line, whatever, you could worry about anything. This team is so good, man. I mean, I think Mixon's going to have a huge comeback year. Chase, watch out. I think Chase could be an offensive player of the year candidate here. Kind of having a similar season to like a Justin Jefferson. I have them losing the opener, though, as mentioned, against Cleveland. And then I have them beating the Ravens, beating the Rams, losing to Tennessee, dropping those 2 games. What's going on here? It's okay. I got them beating the Cardinals in Seattle before their bye and then coming back hot, beating San Francisco, beating the Bills, beating the Texans, beating the Ravens, and then losing the Steelers after that big winning streak. They win 4 more against the Jaguars, Colts, Vikings, Steelers until they lose the final 2 against the Chiefs and the Browns to end the year of 12-5. So 12-5 for the Bengals. I had them winning the North, 11-6 for the Ravens, 9-8 for the Steelers, Browns, and also 9-8. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals are the team to beat in that division. I would say they're the second best team in the AFC still until proven otherwise. Like, we can't dethrone them for these other teams that have not proven shit, right? Like, basing off from last year to this year, like, I can't put a team like the Steelers over them. And I can't say automatically that, even a team like the Bills are over them because the Bills haven't done it when it mattered most in the playoffs. Even the Jets, I can't put them in front of a team like the Bengals. Chargers, same thing. Chargers blew a 27-0 lead in the playoffs. Can't put them over a team like the Bengals. I'm just saying, AFC as a whole. This is a really good football team, and I just don't see how you pick anyone else to win this division. I don't. This is a really good division. Yeah, I get it, but I don't. Maybe the Ravens, but the other 2, there's no shot. I'm sorry. There's no shot that the Steelers or the Browns win the division. So that closes it out for the North. Got the West now. And we got the Broncos in last place. Yes, I am not a Sean Payton guy. No, it's not because he made fun of Hackett. I just don't think this is going to work. I think this is going to be a disaster. I think Russell Wilson is washed up. I think that Sean Payton was a good coach that was almost carried by a Hall of Fame quarterback in which they only won 1 ring together, and that team was a legitimate, absolutely stacked, but he only won 1 ring with Drew Brees. I don't care. I don't want to hear about the Rams PI call or whatnot. Call it how it is, 1 ring. Could say the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, whatever. But I don't know why Sean Payton comes over and they're automatically great. This team was trading defensive assets in the middle of the year because they were so bad. Hamler's been hurt. Tim Patrick's already out. Judy's been hurt. I mean, they're banged up already. Javonte Williams is coming back from an ACL. Their offensive line is skeptical. I like Dulcich, but I don't think this team is good. I have them going 6-11. So I have them, let's see. I have them beating Vegas to start the year, and then I have them losing 4 in a row, losing to Washington, Miami, Chicago, and the Jets, and the Chiefs, actually. So I have them losing 5 in a row, and oh my gosh, everything will explode if they start 1-5, and I will laugh so hard if they start 1-5. Beat Green Bay, lose to Kansas City again, and Buffalo, and Minnesota, and then they kind of have a respectable end of the season, winning 3 straight to Cleveland, Houston, and the Chargers, losing to Detroit, beating New England, and losing to the Chargers and Vegas. Again, this is a good division. There's no shot. I don't see them beating the Chiefs. I don't see them beating the Chargers. Actually, I do have them beating the Chargers once. I'm sorry. I don't see them beating the Chiefs. I don't see them beating teams like Miami or Buffalo. I really don't. I don't really have them really pulling a huge upset. I would say the Chargers is probably the best team they beat. I have them beating, rather. I just don't think this team is good, man. I don't know what else to say. I'm interested to see what Denver Broncos fans not only think, but like what they expect from this team. I really don't know. Like, this was the team last year that was supposed to have all the expectations to win a Super Bowl, and Enough with the shit that the Jets are going to be this year's Broncos. It's totally different situations. I just don't think Denver's roster is that good. I think we really overrated the shit out of their roster last year. And then you go trade Bradley Chubb for, I don't even know what they traded for him. They traded him in the middle of the year. They didn't give a shit. This is a bad team. Raiders second place. I have them 7-10. If they were mediocre with Carr, they're going to be mediocre with Derek Carr, with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to make this team suddenly over 500. Have they even added anyone? I mean, Josh Jacobs, great. They added him. They added Jacoby Myers. That's right. Great. They lost Darren Waller. But I know they got Mayer, so that's pretty big. But yeah, I'm not in on the Raiders this year. I think the Raiders another mediocre year, and I see Josh McDaniels getting canned. But yeah, here's the schedule. I do have them flirting around. I mean, beating some good teams. They are 7-10. So it's not like I have them being awful, but just not that good. I have them losing the opener and losing to Buffalo, but then they win 3 in a row against Pittsburgh, Chargers, and Green Bay. Lose to the Pats, beat the Bears, lose 3 straight to the Lions, Giants, and Jets. I do have them upsetting the Dolphins, losing to the Chiefs, bye week, lose to the Vikings and the Chargers, and then the Chiefs again. I don't see them sweeping the Chargers at all. And then they win back-to-back to end the year against the Colts and the Broncos. Defense is bad. Defense has always been bad. They're always the bottom of the barrel. Jimmy G is not the guy that's going to put up 30 points a game. It's just not the type of offense he's run. The roster structure comparison to what he's been used to what he's got now is opposite. It's totally opposite. You had a West Coast guru in Kyle Shanahan who just took all the pressure off of him. You had weapons galore. You always had multiple good running backs. Of course, Josh Jacobs is an absolute beast, but they're not going to be able to take the pressure off him as much because their defense is so bad. They're going to be behind because their defense is so bad. Convince me otherwise. They've been a bottom of the barrel. They haven't been, I think it was, they haven't been better than a top 20 defense since like 2002. It's something ridiculous. So if their defense could improve and are way better than I am giving them credit, this team could win 9 games. But going into the year, I'm not convinced that this defense is going to just suddenly be good because correct me if I'm wrong, Raiders fans. I don't know really who the hell you've added to just automatically think that this is going to be a decent defense. Like Garoppolo always had no pressure on him because they always had a lead because they had such a good defense and they had so many weapons on the offensive side. So I just don't see anything that I just stands out on paper with this Raiders roster. It's just another mediocre team, in my opinion. The Chargers, I have the Chargers finishing 10-7. I have the Chargers losing against Miami, and then I have them beating Tennessee, losing to Minnesota and the Raiders. So a 1-3 start, not so great, but they beat the Cowboys, lose to the Chiefs, but beat the Bears, beat the Jets, lose to the Lions and Packers, and then they beat the Ravens, beat the Pats, lose to the Broncos, and then they win 4 straight to end the year. They beat the Raiders, Bills, Broncos, and Chiefs. So I have them finishing strong, really making a push for the playoffs. So that should be an interesting final push. I'm trying to look to see. So I have them losing against the Dolphins. So I actually don't know if I even have the Chargers making the playoffs. So I have obviously the Bills. Obviously I had the Chiefs at 13 and sorry, I just gave that away. Let's keep on going. I'll without giving it away. I already said I'll look at the playoff picture after because I forgot to do that. But I did post an NFC playoff picture of what I had on my Instagram. Midway through this video, I'll just throw it out there so you guys know if you haven't seen it already. The 1 seed I had the Eagles, 2 seed I have the 49ers, 3 the Saints, 4 the Packers, 5 the Cowboys, 6 the Seahawks, and the 7th seed goes to the Lions. So that's what I got in the NFC. And the Chargers, 7-10. Talented football team, but it's just always, it seems like they never exceed expectations. Like something always bad happens. Like Chargers fans don't have good luck either. So I sympathize with them. But I think it's almost tiring to always think like this is the year, like we're going to win 13, 14 games. They should just expect 10 wins. And maybe you might be surprised and you might get a nice gift. That's how I'm thinking with the Jets, like expecting 10 or 11 wins, at least 10. Maybe I get them a better gift and they win 12 or 13. Same with the Chargers. Like expect 10, but like you could get more. This is a super talented team. I hated the way they used Herbert last year. Way too many checkdowns. I hope Kellen Moore really uses the strength of his arm. The dude probably has the best arm in the NFL. Probably him and Josh Allen are right hand in hand together, in my opinion, in terms of just like you could just throw the ball 85 yards in the air. He's a ridiculous arm. They did not take advantage of his strengths last season. It was just a dumpster fire over there in terms of, offensive coordinator and all that. And I think Staley's a terrible coach. I hated the hire to begin with. And like suddenly he was calling plays when he was a defensive coordinator. I don't really get it. Kellen Moore, I like the move. I think it's worth the shot. You have so many weapons over there. But like I said, I feel like they always fall short of expectations. And I'm not going to get on that. I'm not going to hop on that train and try to say that the Chargers are going to win 11, 12 games. Can they? Absolutely. They have the talent. Have they beaten the Jets? But I need to see it on pay. I need to see it now of how that offense operates on a Kellen Moore type of offense, because again, Kellen Moore had question marks too with Dak. So, but of course, Herbert's a better quarterback than Dak. I kind of spoiled it. Chiefs, I got them 13-4. I mean, how are we going to can we just stop? Can we just stop trying to have the Chiefs only win 10 or 11 games and try to say this is the year they're downgrading because they don't have running backs or whatever. They don't have enough weapons and blah, blah, blah. Kelsey's 33, blah, blah, blah. Like, can we just stop with this shit? Again, until proven otherwise, we can't just think that the Chiefs aren't going to roll over everyone. And they should. I don't care. They have the best quarterback in the league and probably right now the best coach in the league. Of course, Bill Belichick overall, I give it to Bill Belichick. He's the best coach ever. But I'm saying right now, those are the 1-2 punch. This is a Brady Belichick type of deal. It really is. This is a dynasty. Chris Jones, that's concerning. But this defense, way better than you give it credit to. A very young defense. I think they really overperformed last year, and I think they can continue to do that. Not even overperform. I think they really, surprisingly developed as good, very quickly. So that offense, someone's going to step up. Someone will. You have a guy like Justin Ross. You have Kadarius Toney. You have MVS. You have Sky Moore. You have Rashid Rice, the rookie. Of course, Kelsey's just an absolute animal. I really liked Pacheco. I kind of low-key really like Jerick McKinnon too, who was a huge fantasy guy at the end of last year. PPR monster. So the Chiefs just convinced me otherwise. I don't see how they're not going to win this division. I don't see it. I don't see any other world. And that's what I felt like last season. We were getting all the Broncos crap because Russ and the Raiders hype because of Devontae, and then Chiefs go on and win the Super Bowl. Mahomes wins the MVP, right? Oh, the Chiefs aren't even making the playoffs, so give me a break. They're going to beat the Lions week 1. They lose to Jacksonville because, Jacksonville loves London. They then going to beat the Bears, Jets, Vikings, Broncos, Chargers, Broncos. And then they lose to Miami. That's games in Germany, so I just don't have them winning. I have them 0-2 outside the U.S. That's their kryptonite. Bye week, beat the Eagles in the rematch of the Super Bowl, beat the Raiders, beat the Packers. As mentioned, I have them losing against Buffalo, beating New England, Raiders, and Bengals, and then losing to the Chargers. So I have them losing against the Chargers, the Bills, the Jaguars, the Dolphins. 13-4. Same record as the Eagles. I have them both dominating. So, as I said, I mean, we just got to stop until we actually see it. Both of those teams last year with the Chiefs and the Eagles, I have them being the two best teams again. They were 14-3 last year. I have them getting an extra loss here, a little stronger competition. But it's like Mahomes is unbelievable. It doesn't matter. You could say all you want about Tom Brady and how he had all these weapons. He really didn't in his day with the New England. Of course, his defenses are they were well coached, right? That's why they were really, really good, because they were well coached overall too. But like Julian Edelman was like a 6th-round quarterback. Wes Welker, I'm pretty sure he was like a punt returner for the Dolphins, and then comes over and becomes an unbelievable wide receiver. Like, they didn't have these studs like Deion Branch, and yes, he had Randy Moss, but he made these guys into stars other than Randy Moss. It's simple. So it's not like he had these crazy weapons. What has Mahomes done? He makes guys relevant. He has the Brady effect. He's that good. And he's going to keep doing it. All right, we're going to end it with the worst division in football. And sorry, I'll put that up to wrap this division up. Chiefs 13-4, Chargers 10-7, Raiders 7-10, Broncos 6-11. That is the AFC West. And we are finally here for the AFC South. The Texans, I have them that is brutal. All right, I'm not going to even let you look at that because that's just giving me a migraine. Here we go. I have the Texans being 4-13, losing to the Ravens, and then I have them beating the Colts. Yes, then losing to Jacksonville and beating the Steelers. Surprisingly, whoa, 2-2. And then I have them going to their next. And then I have them going 2-11. They lose to the Falcons, lose to the Saints, bye week, lose to the Panthers. They beat the Bucks, then lose to the Bengals and the Cardinals. That's a toilet bowl right there. Lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, lose to the Broncos, lose to the Jets, and then beat the Titans, and then lose out to the Browns, Titans, and Colts. Listen, I think the Texans are heading in the right direction. They're 4-11. They're going to be 4-13. You know what it reminds me of? And I hope it doesn't happen to you. I hope Stroud doesn't end like this guy. But Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, a team that was already really bad the year before, had a high draft pick, took the quarterback. It takes a little bit. The defensive-minded coach, and Mayo and Saleh turns around 2 terrible defenses. Defense probably won't be that good this year, could be good next year. They got guys like Will Anderson, who they drafted up to really be that dog on the defensive side, kind of like a Quentin Williams. So I kind of see the weird vision of the Texans similar to what the Jets is. Obviously, the Jets' direction didn't go exactly how they anticipated, but they ended up drafting well enough that they could draw a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I think Stroud could be a guy. I think it's going to be a tough year for him. I think he's going to go through growing pains. I think both of these rookies struggle this year. I think the only rookie that plays well this season is going to be Bryce Young, at least competitive. I don't know what well is, but I think he is the most competitive quarterback out of at least those top 3. So I have them going 4-13. Texans fans, don't lose your shit. You're not going to be the worst team in the league, but you're still going to be pretty bad. This is a young team with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. It's hard to thrive, especially when you're playing good teams. I mean, they play the Ravens. They play Jacksonville twice, who I think is going to be really good. They play the Steelers. They play the Jets. They play the Browns. They play the Saints, who I have winning that division. This is not an easy schedule for them. They play the Bengals. If I didn't say that already, they play the Bengals, even though I have them beating the Steelers too, but it's hard. Winning in this league is hard. So prove me wrong. I hope both of those guys do well, but Colts, what is going on with the AFC South graphics, dude? Holy shit. Kind of see that. You don't get a terrible migraine on that one. I'm going to go quick here. I got the Colts going 5-12. Yes, I do have them beating Jacksonville, as I mentioned, and then losing to the Texans, Ravens, and Rams, beating Tennessee. I actually have them sweeping Tennessee, which is kind of random. Losing to Jacksonville, losing to the Browns, Saints, Panthers, Pats, bye week, lose to the Bucks, then beat the Titans again, lose to Cincy and Pittsburgh, beats Atlanta, lose to the Raiders, and beats Houston. So 5-12. Listen, it's not even starting off on a good note here. You have the Jonathan Taylor drama out for 4 weeks. Again, another rookie head coach, rookie quarterback scenario with the team that wasn't good last year. Let's call it how we call it here. This team was a disaster last year. They literally grabbed a guy who was working in an ESPN booth with not even Pop Warner coaching experience and threw him in the head coaching job after firing a coach mid-year when they had all these expectations, when they got like the 5th veteran quarterback in 5 years. It's going to take a bit here. Richardson has all the talent in the world. I think he's super raw, and I don't even like how they're starting him. We always say it. Why do we always keep rushing these rookies? And we keep doing it. Perfect scenario. You got a guy like Gardner Minshew who can at least keep you competitive. Why are you going to rush in Anthony Richardson, especially against a team like the, I guess they play the Jaguars, but especially a team like, I don't know, they play the Jacksonville, they play Baltimore, they play Jacksonville again. They play the Browns, they play the Saints, they play the Pats. You know, they don't have a cakewalk here. They play the Bengals and Pittsburgh. The whole NFC North is brutal. I don't know why you rush him in. He, again, prove me wrong. 5-12. Here are the Titans now. I have them in third place. I also have them in the losing record, though, 8-9. This was another disappointing team. They started the year good, and then they just fell off the face of the earth, and that's when the Jaguars swooped up and won that division. So I have them. Obviously, I have them beating the Saints. Not obviously, but beating the Saints. This is one of my incomplete ones. Let me see. All right, so I have them beating the Saints, losing against the Chargers, beating the Browns, losing to the Bengals, and then losing to the Colts and Ravens as well. Tough stretch there. I mean, Ravens and Bengals in a 3-game stretch. Bye week, lose to the Falcons, beat the Steelers and Bucks and Jaguars, losing to the Panthers, and then losing to the Colts, beating the Dolphins, upset, losing to the Texans and Seahawks, and then winning against the Texans and Jags. So I have them sweeping the Jaguars, which is pretty hilarious. But listen, I think this team could be competitive. I think it all depends on the play of Ryan Tannehill. I'm not going to just sit here and say he sucks, but they don't really have anything behind him. Malik Willis, Levis. I'm not into those guys. I don't think there's anything there with Levis or Willis. But if Tannehill can stay healthy and just play decent, they should win games. They should be competitive. I just think the AFC is really good. And I think they've taken a huge step down. Their defense has regressed. Derrick Henry's 29. Their number one receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, he's not getting any younger. That's just a place that receivers go to die, I feel like. So I don't really have many expectations of DeAndre Hopkins either. It has nothing to do with his talent. It just has to do with where he landed. So 8-9, and then I'm going to wrap this up. This video has already been longer than the NFC, I believe. Jacksonville Jaguars, I have them 10-7. I have them losing to the Colts, and then I have them beating Kansas City, beating Texans, beating the Falcons, and losing to Buffalo, beating Indy, and then I have them beating the Saints, losing the Steelers, Niners, Titans, and then beating the Texans, losing to the Bengals, beating the Browns, and then I have them beating the Ravens as well. Trying to see what that team was. Oh, and then beating the Bucks, and then beating the Panthers, and then losing against the Titans week 18. Yes, I have them randomly getting swept by the Tennessee Titans. The Jacksonville Jaguars should be a much improved team. Could they win more than, I have them losing a couple South games. Could they sweep the division? Sure, they could. They could win 12 games. Just want to see a little more. I'm interested to see how this offense shapes up. I'm interested to see how they protect him. I'm interested to see how they utilize a guy like ETN. Is he going to be a 3-down workhorse? Calvin Ridley, probably one of the most interesting players to watch this season, was a legitimate wide receiver one before everything happened, with his, of course, his mental health struggles, and then the gambling. And of course, Christian Kirk, a really good number 2. Evan Ingram just got his money. Had a really good season last year, really had a resurgence with the Jaguars. Peterson's a really good coach. 10-7 may be a little undervalued, especially in this division. Yes, I agree. But again, I need to see a little more of the Jaguars Can the Jaguars put together a dominant season? I don't know. They never really have. Maybe outside of 2016, 2017, when Nathaniel Hackett was the OC. Really like Trevor Lawrence, though. I think Trevor Lawrence could, be a top 6 quarterback. He's that talented, and he showed definitely bursts of that, at least in the second half against the Chargers, after just overcoming crazy adversity and then really competing with the Chiefs. That's what made me think, like, shit, this team's actually good. I think they're going to be a tough team to beat in the AFC for sure. So I have the Jaguars winning the division at 10-7, Titans 8-9, Colts 5-12, Texans 4-13. This division's really bad, really, really bad. I think they might be worse than. It's pretty close. I think they're going to be worse than the AFC, the NFC South. The South divisions are just so bad this year. I don't know why that's the case with the South divisions, but not good. So yeah, I have the Chiefs as the 1 seed, the Bengals as the 2, the Bills as the 3, the Jags as the 4. Then I have the Jets as the 5, the Ravens as the 6. And then, the Chargers is this, the Dolphins is the 7, I think. Yep. Or did I have the Dolphins? I got to see who I had winning that game. I think I had the. Where the hell are the Chargers? Why can't I find them? Yeah, I have them losing against Miami. So, I have them missing the playoffs. That's going to cause a lot of mayhem. But, yep, that's going to wrap it up here. Will I do predictions next year? I don't know, man. It was a lot of work. I feel like I was taking the SATs. It was so hard to predict every team and trying to make sure that I wasn't overlapping. And I had, obviously, graphic issues. It took a lot of time. I'm excited I finished. I'm excited I did it. And I'm excited for everyone to shit on me. Appreciate you sticking around. I mean, God bless your soul if you stuck around for 52 minutes. It's way longer than I wanted to do, but it takes a while here. So, yep, those are my AFC predictions. Appreciate you watching. Joe Scarto here as always, aka Turn Up the Jets. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you actually liked it. Follow me on Instagram and X at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. Stay tuned for more videos as football is right around the corner. Can't wait, as Bart Scott says. See ya.
Jets, I hear them say it now.
White, green, just green and white.